Part 3 opens up with Arisu approaching Aguni and being surprised to see him alive. Aguni is the same guy who sacrificed his life in the beach incident to save others in the previous season. Aguni mentions that he has no will to live, but just wants to kill the masters of the game and make others' lives easier. On one hand, Arisu is delighted to get Aguni back, but on the other hand, he also wants to go and search for Usagi. Aguni tells Arisu that the game is perfect for a person like him who has no hope to remain alive. He then asks Arisu about his driving force to live, and assumes that he is doing all this for Usagi. However, Arisu denies it and remembers Kuma's words that a person does not need any reasons to live. Following this, Aguni tells Arisu that he has teamed up with the girl that he met before named Akane to lure the King of Spades to the forest and eliminate him. Akane is a handicapped girl who does not have the lower part of one of her legs. The scene then flashes back to Akane's life while she is in high school with her friends. Akane is a beautiful and popular girl in high school, and because of her beauty, many boys like her and follow her. Suddenly, when Akane and her friends are walking out of their school, they hear a big bang and notice fireworks in the sky. All of a sudden, Akane finds herself in a large football ground with a message on her mobile screen informing her that the game is about to begin. Furthermore, they are provided with the rules of the game named the Boiling Death, where they have to escape before the arena collapses to remain alive. After some time, the ground starts to shake and Akane quickly makes a run toward the exit of the ground. Soon, the ground tears apart and a large volume of boiling water comes out from it. The people are instantly killed because of the heat of the water, but Akane somehow manages to remain alive. To her bad luck, she finds herself among the ruins of a building with a rod impaling her leg. She cries for a while and later pulls out the rod and searches around for help. After crawling through an opening, she reaches a hospital and asks the doctor for help. Sadly, the doctor tells her that her leg is badly infected and that he will have to remove it to keep her alive. Moreover, he also puts forward a condition that he will only treat her if she agrees to sleep with him. With a desperate will to remain alive, Akane agrees to his proposal and gets her leg removed. On the other hand, Aguni reminisces about Hatter, his old friend, and imagines having a conversation with him. Well, this time, Hatter uses hurtful words and demotivates Aguni for standing up against the King of Spades. He also accuses him of murdering innocent people to find the witch in the previous season. Aguni himself wants to die, but he puts out the scene like Hatter is forcing him to die. The following morning, Arisu wakes up and finds Akane changing clothes. Mentioning that they have uncertainty in their lives, Akane tries to force herself on him, but Arisu pushes her away. Right then, Aguni arrives there and Akane backs up. While Arisu wishes to search for Usagi, Aguni forbids him from going alone and urges him to remain together, as they can be easily attacked by the King of Spades. As soon as Arisu is seen nearby, the King of Spades will strike. Aguni also mentions that the game masters have tracking devices and other tools to locate the players. Aguni outlines many tactics, one of which makes use of the mountains. Aguni, Akane, and Arisu devise that they will lure the King of Spades to the mountains and attack him there. Soon, Aguni confirms an ideal spot to set up traps for the King of Spades, which will notify them when he approaches their area. At night, Arisu is guarding the place but is feeling sleepy at the same moment. To his bad luck, the King of Spades arrives there and points a gun at him. Fortunately, before he could shoot at Arisu, Akane arrives there and throws a smoke bomb to distract the King of Spades. Using this opportunity, Aguni fires a couple of shots at the king, but the King of Spades turns out to be wearing a bulletproof jacket and quickly stands on his legs, suffering no damage. Next, Arisu tries his best to distract the King of Spades, but gets a grenade thrown at him, compelling him to jump into a river to save his life. With this, Aguni has to take charge of the mission, but loses his balance and suffers a head injury that leads him to lose consciousness. The King of Spades then leaves as Akane successfully hides an unconscious Aguni in the bushes. The following morning, the river water transports Arisu to a completely new location. He searches the area for Usagi but fails to find her. Meanwhile, we are given some information regarding the whereabouts of all the other players, and can be seen searching for answers and uses her compass to jot down instructions, as Kuina competes in more games to extend her visa. On the other side, Usagi discovers a young girl and a kid while searching for food at a home. Since the little kid's parents have already passed away, and he does not have much time, Usagi tries her best to convince him to play games. The youngster is unwilling to play when Usagi brings him to a game arena, but she somehow manages to persuade him. However, the other attendees begin to accuse Usagi of bringing a kid into the area. Surprisingly, Arisu, who is looking for Usagi, arrives to play the same game, and is overjoyed to find Usagi there. He is happy to have tracked her down and makes an effort to help her with the game. Both of them are happy to see each other again, and soon, the game also starts. The game is named Checkmate, and it is the game of the Queen of Spades. It is informed that there are two teams in the game, the Queen team and the Challenger team, where both teams have to compete with one another. The 4 Queen team members introduce themselves on the projection screen, while the Challenger squad consists of 16 members. The youngster is chosen by the Queen of Spades to represent the Challenger team, whilst the Queen of Spades herself decided to lead her squad. Moving on, it is informed that all the members will have a button on their back. It is blue for the Challenger team and red for the Queen's team. The member will be transferred to the opposite squad if his button gets pressed by the opposition member. Whichever team will have the most members at the end of the game wins, and the losing team members will get killed. Next, the Queen's team members play the game vigorously and start attacking the opposition, pressing their button and taking them into their own team. One by one, the Challenger team starts losing their members, and at the end of the 6th round, there are only 3 members left in the Challenger team: Arisu, Usagi, and the little kid. On the other hand, the Queen seems interested in Arisu and wants to take him into her team. To fulfill her wish, her team members start chasing Arisu and corner him. When they are about to press his button, Usagi comes to his rescue and saves him. With only 3 minutes remaining in the final round, Usagi is knocked from the rails during a fight between her and the Queen. She, however, manages to escape, but the Queen forbids her from leaving as she is determined to destroy Usagi at any cost. Since no other team member cares to save the youngster, the Queen wants Usagi to perish. During the last moments of the game, Usagi makes an effort to persuade the players by telling them that obeying the Queen will guarantee their safety in this realm forever, but doing so will also eliminate any possibility of them going back to the real world. These words from Usagi really hit the people hard, and they start coming to her team. Meanwhile, the Queen of Spades is controlling the current members to seize Arisu. To divert the players, Usagi destroys a gas pipe, allowing Arisu to flee. However, the Queen squad used all of her players to surround him, resulting in Arisu leaping from the railing during the final 30 seconds of the round. Finally, Usagi and Arisu manage to bring more players to their team before the Challenger team's last round, and win the game, leaving the Queen alone in the other team. Before the Queen is killed according to the rules of the game, Arisu questions whether or not winning all of the face card games takes them back to the real world. Instead of giving an answer to his question, the Queen suggests he complete playing all the games and find the answer himself. In the next scene, Usagi and Arisu arrive at the ruins of a huge building and find hot water springs. They decide to spend some time there and also get close to each other to kiss. Things become more interesting when they notice elephants around the springs. With the beauty around, Arisu mentions that he has started liking the place. Right then, the scene shifts to Anne, when she is in a jungle looking at a dead deer and reminiscing about her past as a criminal investigator. Realizing that the deer gave her full efforts to remain alive, Anne also decides to not leave any stones unturned to find a little hope of returning to the real world. On the other hand, Kuina arrives at the hospital where her mother was last admitted. After looking around, she also finds a picture of her mother. The scene then shifts to Kishia, and it is shown that he is ready to play a game which is for the King of Diamonds. The game is being held in the Supreme Court, and is called the Beauty Contest. Along with the other participants, Kishia is assigned a tablet, and every participant had 3 minutes to select any number between 0 and 100. Furthermore, it is mentioned that the average of all the selected numbers by the participants will be multiplied by 0, 8, and the person whose answer is closest to the correct answer will win the round. The player who does not get the right answer will lose the round and a point, and if a player reaches a -10, she will get eliminated from the game. One by one the players start to get eliminated, and a large amount of sulfuric acid is poured on them. When the game is approaching the final round, only Kishia and the King of Diamonds, Kuzuryu, remain. Before the end of the second last round, Kuzuryu asks Kishia a question if he would vaccinate rich people or poor people in a time of emergency. Having worked as a doctor in the real world, Kishia remembers a rich person paying money to the director of the hospital to save his son while killing a poor child named Hayato. Kishia then chooses the number 100 and tells the same Kuzuryu. Kuzuryu is shocked to see Kishia revealing his choice, and if he wants he can choose another number and win the game. Surprisingly, Kuzuryu is fascinated by Kishia's way of viewing the world and decides to save him. He then chooses the number 0 and loses the round. Now, with both the players having -9 as their individual points, it's their last chance to secure a point and save their life. Out of nowhere, Kishiya again chooses the number 100 for the last round, leaving Kyuzuryu to decide the game. It is now in his hand to select between his and Kishiya's life. Right then, Kyuzuryu remembers his meeting with Momoka, the witch from the previous season. He asks her why she chose to be the witch when she knows that it would lead to sacrificing her life. To his surprise, Momoka tells him that she did so to follow her own ideals and not let any game master decide her death. She further mentions that a human heart is an amazing thing, and she does not want anyone to kill each other for the sake of a game. These words from Momoka really hits Kyuzuryu hard, and he realizes that he does not know the real value of human life. Following this thought, Kyuzuryu chooses the number 0 and makes Kishiya the winner of the final round. When Kishiya asks him why he did so, Kyuzuryu tells him that he did it to follow his ideals for the first time in his life, and to exit the world without any guilt. As soon as he does so, Kishiya is declared the winner and a bucket of sulfuric acid is poured on Kyuzuryu, killing him instantly. In the last part of the episode, Akane leaves Aguni as he dies while fighting the King of Spades, and makes the decision to keep playing games and remain alive with the wisdom she learned from him. The episode ends as Usagi and Arisu hope for a brighter future and survival, and Anne and Kuina also return to play the games with the only aim to return to the real world. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.